Welcome to Fiverr Friday and a VO's journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. It is awesome to be coming to you live. It is the 14th of August. We are basically halfway through August, getting ready to dive into September, and so much is going on. I've got a good show for you today, and I think hopefully this will be helpful. And you know, as I put into the description here for this show today, you know, there has been a lot going on, you know, on my end, and things happening, and over the last couple of weeks, you know, I've had a string of cancellations. All right. And, you know, if you're new to Fiverr or just, you know, getting started, you know, cancellations can be a number of things. It can be where someone has accidentally ordered from you and they need to cancel, or they order from you and they realize that they don't want to anymore, they can cancel. You realize that, you know, there's an issue with something going on and you have to cancel with them. There is a discrepancy in the way that the two of you have agreed to do the job. That can be canceled. There could be time constraints. There can be all kinds of things and reasons why someone can just be kind of you know, a butthead and want to cancel. So, I mean, you know, there's a variety of reasons. So for me, what's happened over the last couple of weeks is that I've been super busy, which has been wonderful, but I've been busy with other things like, you know, the coaching side of my business and doing some things. We had a stream of storms. We had the hurricane come through, a lot of different things happening. And I've also been working hard on trying to switch around my schedule so that I could have evenings off and trying to have, you know, a semblance of a weekend after the last 3.5 years of working every weekend and every night until about 2 a.m. So, you know, that's something that I've definitely been working on. But because of this, what has come out of it has been some miscommunications, some errors on my part as well as customers' parts, and I've gotten some cancellations on Fiverr. Now, if you know anything about the algorithm, when this happens to you, all right, and you get 1 cancellation, 2 cancellations, 3 cancellations, you know, this starts to affect your score. Now, I have such a wide range of jobs and everything that I do or I've done, so the cancellations don't affect my overall score very much. But Fiverr's done something different, if you haven't noticed. They have added each particular gig, they've added a percentage of your cancellations. This is interesting to me. I don't know what their thought process is behind it, except to say that maybe they're trying to target specific gigs. So in the past, if something happened to one of your gigs, it affected your overall account, right? But now I see them trying to specify the specific places in your gigs. Now, I still think that the surveys they send out specify, you know, affect your account. So after you turn in a job, a survey goes out and you literally will, the customer will, you know, fill out that survey, whether it's good or bad, and that affects your overall account. And all of this goes to affect your rankings. So anyways, the point to all this story is my numbers have been dropping. So this past month, these last couple of weeks, came off of a pretty good month last month, but these last couple of weeks have just really begun to dry out, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that I've had multiple cancellations across the board, a variety of reasons. I've canceled the work. I've had a couple of customers cancel. You know, you have someone make a mistake, it cancels, you know, just those things, and those things add up. And it's interesting, and I wanted to talk to you about it today because, you know, I wrote in there that, you know, as you know, I love Fiverr. Fiverr's great, but, you know, Fiverr's not infallible, right? I mean, there is mistakes that can be made. You know, Fiverr doesn't look at that and say, oh, well, hey, those were out of his control, or, you know, that really shouldn't affect his overall score. It does. It does affect you. And like I always say, Fiverr giveth, Fiverr can taketh away, since we're talking about Fiverr, but so can anyone. So that's why I wanted to bring it up today and discuss with you any questions, comments you might have about some situations you're going through, because I work with a lot of voice actors, and a lot of voice actors are having wonderful months on Fiverr as always. And, when other voice actors go through dry spells, there's a variety of reasons. It can be one, it could be your demos, it could be your profile, it could be your thumbnails, but it also can be things on the back end, like, for example, the cancellations or people filling out. Now, you never get to see what people fill out on the survey side, because that's something that only Fiverr gets to see, but that does affect the algorithm and affects like how much you are seen in the rankings, all right? How fast you turn in a job. Okay, not just the response time, but the speed, the speed of you turning in a job, right? All of this goes into it. And, you can definitely, really affect your rankings and what's happening to you if you are not doing that. So for me, you know what I mean? I've had less jobs coming in. So with that being said, I thought this would be a great opportunity to share with you what's happening with me and what I'm doing to move forward to, reboot and continue to get back to that place that I was. Now, here's something that I always tell you, and this is something that I've done. So one of the first things that you can do is that I've literally moved all of my gigs. I moved them to 3-day delivery, right? Because I was trying to draw out, because I was so busy over a short period of time, it was becoming near impossible to keep up with all that work. So one of the things that I did is I've shifted back from 3 days to 1 day, 24-hour delivery. That makes a difference. It is an actual search term, or you have a search capability on Fiverr to search for 24-hour delivery. So that's something that I have done. I've switched that. I also had some pricing differences. I had raised my prices $5. I put them back down to $5 back down, changed some of my back end things to compensate. All right. But put my base price back down to where it was. Okay. But what I've done now is I've added I've added 2 more gigs, which has been the first time in, oh gosh, I mean, it's been months and months and months since I've added 2 new gigs. So I've added a phone messaging gig, and I've also added a podcasting intro and outro gig. So, I've added those as well. So that's something also that I'm doing. And today I've got a few jobs today. I mean, I still get, so I guess less work for me. It would still be a lot for other people, but it's still less for me, right? It's all relative. So, a couple jobs came in today, but here's the crazy thing. The jobs coming in today have come in from other places. Right? It comes in from, what I mean by other places, I mean, the jobs came in from other gigs that don't normally get work. This is interesting, right? So I got my job. Remember, I told everybody we should be focusing on Halloween, making sure that that's going on, right? So, my Halloween gig got a job today, as well as another one of my gigs got a job. My character gig. So both my character gig and my Halloween gig both got jobs today, as opposed, which normally I don't get much work from them. I get all of them through my male voiceover one, my main one. But I think that's just an interesting development of how those percentages matter for each gig. So basically, Fiverr split it up. If you go to your gigs and you look at the results, you can see there, I mean, you can see the stats that on the last one, there's a percentage of cancellations. Now they show you each gig. So like some of my gigs have, cancellation percentages where other ones do not. And I think it just feels like Fiverr is targeting those particular gigs. All right. So they'll reduce the weighting, if you will, on those gigs than you have on the other ones. So I do find that interesting, and it is something to contend with as you move forward. And for me, what, just makes me realize again that it's just like anything else. You know what I mean? If you slack off or you try something new and something changes, you have to be prepared for what happens. What I'm doing is working very hard and diligently also so I can bring to you guys, but ways to, make sure that we can live a comfortable life, a nice life where we can also have time to relax, spend time with the family, but also make a really nice income from voiceover, okay? As opposed to us working at all hours of the night and everything like that, which is what I've done for the last 3.5 years to build this business. But I think that for me, there was some issues. We were out of power. We had some internet issues because we had the hurricane come through. It's been like storming nonstop for the last 3 or 4 days. It's just been a string of luck. We had some issues with the air conditioning system that was put in because it was brand new. So there's just been a lot of things going on that have been outside, which we all go through. Right? We all go through these things, and it's a part of what we have to deal with. So I thought it would be a good thing to note and tell you what I'm doing. And here's the most important, I guess, lesson for today. And then I want to get to questions. So I don't mind keeping it short today. But the most important thing is when something happens and you notice a downturn, you've got to take action. Don't wait. Don't hope it comes back. You've got to take action. You've got to move forward. All right, you've got to add, you've got to change, you've got to continue to grow, okay, whether the work is showing that growth at the time or not. Does that make sense? Okay, and you can definitely identify what's caused the issues, all right, and fix them, but continue to grow. So like what I did, I've added more gigs, changed delivery date because I know that will spur on more business, worked on pricing, did work on some keyword changes, different things that are just going to spice up my offerings and continue to add more. All right. So this is an important thing. I also did a new video in After Effects. It was not a massive video, but I did a new wave type of form where it's in a circle and it does all this cool action to it for my podcast intro outro gig. So I really like that. So I just want to let you know how you can move forward. If you're having troubles getting business, keep pushing forward. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. I want to welcome everybody from YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. If you haven't had a chance already, hit the like, subscribe button below. Share this with somebody, and hit that bell notification so that you can get notified every time I go live or put a video up. Also, if you're new, what we do here is you can now post in the chat, any questions you might have, comments. I will go ahead and read them and answer them, and we can have a nice conversation. All right, so let's go. We've got Lelia, what's up? Hello, Dave G, what's up? From YouTube, Clint, hey, first in, well, second and third. Fly here, Eric, what's up, my man? Nick, it's good to have you. John, hello. Nick says, a year or two ago in one of the voiceover Facebook groups I was in, there was a thread about Fiverr, and they utterly slated it, saying VO artists on the site wouldn't be welcome in the community. True, with a question mark. Well, Nick, I think that over the years, people have had their qualms about Fiverr. And, but I think at this point in 2020, halfway through 2020, the people, for example, Fiverr Elite, our Fiverr Elite group we have about 86 people in that group now. We meet on a bi-week or 2 times a week, Wednesdays for newcomers to VO and Fiverr, and Saturdays for everybody for voice coaching and Fiverr lessons and things like that to grow our businesses. And anyways, in this group, many of my students and people in that group are top-rated sellers. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, many of us put together, are making, millions of dollars together. We're making $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month a piece. And there's many of us who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year through that platform. So I always say I understand people's frustrations and their worries. It's a new way of doing business for a lot of people who've been in the voiceover industry for a long time. And I respect them and I wish them the best. I will just keep doing what's best for my family And, I think at this point, though, it shouldn't be anybody's worry because Fiverr is proven, it's been proven year after year. I mean, there's people making so much money through Fiverr, it's silly. So I don't think there's an issue. So I wouldn't worry about it, Nick. Don't let it bother you. Alex, for buyer request, why do I keep seeing requests for things that don't apply for me, e.g. language? Alex, that's just generally what you're seeing, and it could be the time you're logging in as well. That happens a lot. Also, what level you are. It happens as you go up, more things unlock. But that could be it. That could be it. But generally speaking, people post in buyer requests because they don't have, they can't find exactly what they're looking for. I find that people are, those people who are in buyer requests are still looking for voiceover artists. They might not be looking for you at that particular moment, but they might need you or know someone who needs you in the future. So I always find it good to reach out to them. Good question, Alex. Man plus Mike, what's up? Dave G, same here. Last month was beep. What is going on? Great ratings, reviews, no cancellations. Dave, it could be also that on the back end, your surveys weren't very good. You know what I mean? It could be that your surveys kind of played, part. I mean, that's happened to me sometimes, and it could be just a string of unfortunate events. Could be a variety of things, but that happens. Let's see. Nick, I was kind of sad. Oh, wait, man plus Mike. I have 2 gigs on Fiverr. Well, wait, real quick, going back to Dave. Dave, the important thing is don't stop moving forward. You got to keep pushing stuff out. Sometimes you're going to have good months. Sometimes you're going to have bad months. I mean, we can't be at the top of the mountain all the time. I mean, life just doesn't work that way. But what we can do is we can focus on what we are doing and putting out. So keep putting out content. Keep growing your account. Man plus Mike, I have 2 gigs on Fiverr, but I don't think they're visible unless I pay. No, everything's visible, but whether you're getting enough traffic, that's a whole nother question, man plus Mike. And that takes, I suggest you take a look at the Fiverr Elite group. That would be a wonderful place for you to go. Anybody can join. There'll be a link below, as well as on the VO's Journey website that you can sign up. And, you need to get a lot of stuff filled out. I would make sure, man plus Mike, depending on what level you are, make sure you have all 7 of your gigs up. Okay, if you're level 0, level 1, it's 10, level 2, it's 20. If you're trying to get more work, just like I'm putting up more gigs now as I'm trying to get more visibility. All right, Clint says, what would you put differently on a contract that was made for a client on Fiverr and a contract for a client who contacts you directly? Clint, I'll be honest with you. I found it easier for me personally to charge. I just charge the same everywhere. I don't vary. Some people charge way more to clients off of the platform, but I take kind of like a Apple products approach. I just charge the same across the board. You know what I mean? Some margins are higher other places. Clearly, one-on-one, the margins will be higher because I don't have to pay an extra fee that I do for Fiverr. But I always charge the same amount. I include... Now, what I do when I work directly with clients is I bundle the commercial and broadcast rights into one buyout fee as opposed to offering it separately unless they specifically ask. You know what I mean? But in general, everything's the same pricing. My base price is the same. I do per words, per 150 words. It's all the same. I just keep it all the same. It makes it easy, and I don't have to. I learned that lesson early on when someone found me. And they emailed me. I sent them a quote that was an off-platform quote. And then they said, what the heck is this? I just saw you on Fiverr. You charge this. You're scamming us. Goodbye. I learned that lesson. Never heard from them again. I learned that lesson, the hard way. So I just charge the same. And if you're not happy with what you're charging on Fiverr, right? You're either looking at it the wrong way. You're looking at it as if you're just starting out. See, the problem is when people are just starting out on Fiverr, they think it's about making money. But it's not about making money. It's about getting those reviews and building up your status. You will make money as you go along, I promise. But you got to get those reviews. You got to get that social cred first. Let's see. Dave, it's clear that Fiverr is changing the playing field. Stats back, PPC, big shakeup, lots of new level 1 on page 1. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's why you got to keep pushing yourself and moving forward. PSN Chunky Lover 3000. I like that name. Hello, I made it to the live. Yes, Tom, what's up? Facebook user, what up? As always, thank you for the info. Oh, Adam. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. Out of work professor. Hello, Anthony. No questions today. Just saying hello and thanks for the great content. You bet, my friend. Othello, my man. Yes, I've been experimenting with adding commercial rights into my base price on a few of my my gigs. That's awesome. That's awesome. Keep me posted on how that's going, Othello. It's Angela. Hello, Angela. Let's see. Alex Mitz. Awesome. I'm being evaluated and will move to level 1 at the end of today. Hopefully that helps. Yes. This is the 14th. So as you know, this is evaluation day. So good deal. Nick Field says, thanks for that, Anthony. I ran out of room to elaborate on the true. That's okay. Andy, what's up? Been a long time, my man. Is it possible to convert Fiverr customers to private customers? Or is it always better to keep them on platform? Yes, I'm still awake. So, Andy, inevitably, you will have some customers that find you off of the platform, or you do a live session, or you do so much work with a customer that it just becomes easier to work off platform and you guys, get together somehow, and you just work off platform. I have a few customers like that. But I don't ever actively work to get customers off of the platform because Fiverr, that's Fiverr's number one job is to keep customers on the platform. So I don't even put myself in that position. It's a waste of time. But like I said, you will eventually I have clients that came from Fiverr, after doing lots and lots and lots of work on Fiverr, they end up just, working with me privately just because it's easier than going through the platform all the time. But that was after, Fiverr got plenty of money from us. So let's see, Zelby, are you working with the Illuminati? OMG. What? Man plus Mike. Cheers for the advice. We'll use your advice. Awesome. Let's see. Facebook user. The video on a gig. Is it best to put a video of you talking as an introduction or a voiceover demo? I would do both. There are many people who do the talking. There are many people who do the demo. I've always liked to do just the demo because, I didn't have, at the time when I was making my stuff, I didn't have a space that I thought was conducive to me, like doing a video. And honestly, I never knew quite what to say other than, listen to my stuff. I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you. Because everyone says kind of the same thing, hi, my name is Anthony, or hello, Fiverr fans, welcome to my Fiverr. I mean, I don't personally do that, but many others do. So my suggestion to you is test it out. Do a couple with you, speaking at first. Do a couple with just your demo. Test out, see which ones work, see which ones don't. Okay, this is a fluid thing. You can't leave it to just sit there. If you're leaving your account just sitting there, you're not doing it right. I still don't understand the Illuminati things, LB. You gotta explain that one to me. Okay, voiceover Angela. I always keep my prices consistent because you've said that before. Thanks for that. Absolutely. Clint says, thanks a lot, Anthony. You bet. Zach says, forgot to bring my Bluetooth headset to work today, so I can't listen now, but happy Fiverr Friday anyway. Sorry about that, Zach. Let's see. Gadget says, Gadget and Droom Bangla. Anthony, I am new at in here VO. What should I do to spread myself in this career? That's a large question, my friend. The first thing you need to do is get on 5 or 10 platforms. We talked about those platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, Voiver, People Per Hour. You can join some pay-to-play sites like The Voice Realm, Voices.com, Voice123. Then you want to build out your social media. Then you want to go and build out your website. These are 3 steps that I coach my mentor students on, as well as lots of voice acting. And, it's easy to say it like that really quickly, but within those 3 large steps are all the work. So it's just such a wide question, Gadget, but I hope that gives you at least a start. I would start by getting yourself on as many platforms online as you can. Okay. It doesn't matter who they are, where they are. You just get on them at this point. The more the merrier. Facebook user Chris says, good point, thank you. No problem. Dave G, why should 50 great reviews then a bad survey review tank your gig? I don't know, Dave. I would talk to Fiverr about that, brother. But you got to let it go. And this is something I notice about people too. Whatever you do, let it go. Let it go for whatever reasons they are. All right, analyze and then move forward. Don't get caught up in the past. We talked about, remember I did a video about questions and the questions you ask, right? The questions you ask shape your outcome. All right, they shape your future. So if you ask questions about why is this happening, why are they doing this to me, as opposed to how can I make this work, how can I move forward, what do I need to do to get better, what do I need to do next, those are the actions, like activities, active questions that move you forward, as opposed to questions that you're always gonna be wondering, well, why do they do that, why are they stopping, because when you ask a question, your brain tries to answer it. So you want to ask questions where your brain is actively trying to come up with ways to succeed, not ways why you're not succeeding. Now you might say, well, you need to know why you're not succeeding in order to succeed. No, that's not true. Most of the time, it's just like that picture. Y'all know that picture of those two guys with a pick, and they're picking away at the they're mining and they're picking away at the rock, and you see on the one side is this huge thing of gold, and one guy is like an inch from it and he gives up and quits. All right, where the other guy just keeps on going no matter what and makes it, even when he's done, even when he's done all of this work. I mean, the reality is you've got to keep pushing forward. Don't focus on why it's not working. Focus on what you can do to keep moving forward and keep working, keep adding things, okay? I know that's an oversimplified approach, but those questions are important. Let's see. Facebook user, how much external noise does your whisper room block out? It blocks out a lot. I can't remember the exact dB, whether it's 20 or 30 decibels, but you can also have two walls. The Whisper Room offers a 2-wall too, so you can you can start out with one wall and then add a 2-wall. They'll send another set, and you can add it on there, and that will bring you even more, make it even more quiet. So yeah, so it's really good though. I love it. I got it because of the noise. I mean, that's why I actually got it. Because I wasn't having reverb effects, because my hobo fort was perfect. In many effects, my hobo fort was way better for reverb than my booth. But my booth is just, I couldn't do anything about the noise. So, okay, let's see. Good question. Neil says, how does it affect Fiverr's attitude towards you if you start with high rates and then, if no business, drop to a very low rate? I think you got to find what works for you. I don't think there's like some, magic person, magic people on Fiverr going around, targeting you in general. Okay. Cause there's a lot of people on Fiverr. But with that being said, I think I like your train of thought. Don't let it sit there. Don't die on top of the mountain on your sword. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. Like, those people, when you start off at $5 or $10, for like 100 words or 50 words or something like that, don't make the mistake in thinking that's what you're going to charge for the rest of your life. Okay, that's not where that, it's a means to an end. It's a beginning. It's a marketing tactic, right? It's a way to get yourself business to start. You as a CEO of your business, your main goal is to make sure clients are coming in. Okay, that's what you got to do when you first start off. Cash flow is the lifeblood of any business. If you don't have cash flow, your business is dying. Cash flow is everything. So it's your job to take it. Well, would you take $5 or would you do $5 a day, or would you take $0 a day? And some people are like, well, I'm just not going to do $5. And that's okay. It's totally up to you. I'm just giving you my perspective and how I've built my business. I don't charge $5 anymore, clearly. I don't do any $5 jobs. I haven't done any in years. But when I first started, I did. Let's see. Do clients want raw audio to do all the post-production work themselves, or do they want files ready to be used? It's a mix. Most of my clients want, completely edited and mastered files, but I do have on occasion clients who just want raw files. So it's both. Frank says, happy Fiverr Friday. What's up, Frank? Lee says, hi, Anthony. This is my first Fiverr Friday. What are some of the best ways to approach buyer requests? Thanks, Lee. I will say this. I think that I've noticed, and I just want to be open about it. I've noticed that buyer requests, people have, it's not as much. Fiverr's done things to them. Like, I think I don't like what Fiverr did on this one instance with making it for people at lower levels. You don't seem to get as many requests as the people at higher levels. And I think that really kind of sucks, because as a person who's just beginning, you need a way to generate some business. It's nice to generate from that. But the way I approach it is every single person on there is looking for a voiceover artist in some way or some form. Okay, whether they're looking for someone in Mandarin or whether they're looking for someone in English, they're still looking for a voiceover artist. They might not be looking for you at that particular moment, but they might be looking at you later on down the road. Okay, I've had instance after instance after instance where this is where myself and other people, have made sure that we send out, say, hey, I know this is not who you're looking for right now, but, if you ever need, I'm American, so if you ever need an American male voiceover artist in the future, just let me know and I'd love to work with you. And I'm running a special right now. You get, 10% off. Okay. And you send them that. That's fine. Don't send it to the ones who say, don't send it to me if you're not, speaking Mandarin. Don't send it to those people. But in general, there's enough for you to send to people, even if they're not looking for your language, because they might know somebody who needs you, or they might need you next week. All right. Let's see. Lee, we just did that one. Miriam, I'm actually in the process of building my vocal booth. Nice. Celestial Films, agree. How is a much better question than why. Why analyzes the past, how examinizes the future. Absolutely. Gadget, I am following last 1 month. Dear, learn lots from you. Thank you so much, Gadget. I appreciate that. CB says, if I create a children's audiobook gig and set the cost and word length, how do I prevent buyers from trying to use that gig for a non-children's audiobook or a 50,000 word audiobook? You can't. You can't. When I was really heavy with my audiobook gig, I was getting a lot of business. I had like 7 or 8 books I was doing a week at one point at industry rates. It was crazy. I wasn't sleeping. That's when I ended up quitting my job because I couldn't do both anymore. What I found is that the more, of course, I got that gig, the more Fiverr was promoting it, and people were starting to buy voiceovers, like commercial voiceovers from my audiobook gig. And there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, it's just it is what it is. So that's why I do my best to charge the same rate no matter where. Audiobooks are hard, right? Because you can't do it. Now, I've had some people start to charge just their entire rate, right, for, like 10,000 words. And if you want less, just contact them. So like if you charge $250 for a finished hour, right, they'll charge $250 for that finished hour. And if you want, less words, like you have a 5,000 word book, contact me and I'll send you an offer for less. But that will eliminate any issues of people, doing something else. Does that make sense? So you can go about it that way. But, I just like anything else, you got to test it out. Good question though. Let's see. Gadgets. CB says, I had a buyer try to get me to do commercial work through one of my character gigs. The order was canceled and it had a negative impact on me. Buyers should not be able to shove their agendas on us. I understand. I understand what you're doing, and some of that had to do with some of my cancellations. But it's just like, when you anywhere else. We're customer service too. Fiverr's not customer service. So make that, like, that's the one thing. Know what Fiverr is and know what Fiverr isn't. We are paying Fiverr 20% for their marketing, for bringing traffic, and for their algorithm. All right, and the platform. We're paying them for those things. We're not paying them for like a middleman for them dealing with the customers or them, changing that kind of stuff. And they would say, if you don't want, if you don't want to deal with that, you could theoretically move your gigs down to like 1 gig or only 2 gigs. But say I wouldn't do that. That's why I'm telling you, I charge the same across the board. Now you could make sure that you put, please do not order anything that's not children's audiobooks. You could do that. But it's definitely, a challenge, and we've all gone through it. So I feel your pain. And I understand. Okay, let's see. Gadge says, you are a great describer and helpful person. Thank you. Dave says, what's a good ratio for PPC? Click to buy. I don't know. Mine's been horrible. Like, I'm glad to. I'm glad too that it's been horrible. And I'll tell you why. Because, like, and by the way, it is a running tab. I learned that. So it's a running tab. So it goes away. Like, it's a 30-day tab, I believe. And mine's been awfully horrible. Like, I've gotten literally, like, no business from mine whatsoever, and I turned it off again because I'm tired of paying money and not getting any work from it, where other people are getting lots of work from it, and that's okay. And the reason why I love it is because I want to experience, I know this is bad, but I want to experience the bad things so that I can relate to people who are not being successful, because I'm also successful, and I'm not, not everybody's always successful all the time. And I'm not making anything from this promoted ads. So I clicked mine off because I'm not spending any more money on it. But then I know other people who are making tons of money from it. And I've heard 19%. I think Chuck threw around 19%. Some people are at 25%. Some people are at 15%. Some people are at like insane amount of money they've invested as opposed to what they've made, like literally, 6, 7, 800% return. You know what I mean? Where others like me as get practically, it's still more. I mean, I still made more money than what I spent, but it's not worth, like it's just not worth it. So, because I'm spending money now and not making anything. So, I think it's again a thing to test out. It's another thing to test out. Absolutely. Let's see. As a one-man band, and given that you both record and finish your audio files, would you say that you are doing sound editing or sound mixing? Both. I mean, I do editing of my work, but then I do my own demos, and I do, I mix, my sound with my audio, and I do all kinds of stuff. I do a variety. The more that you know, the more you can offer. Being a one-man band, or in that sense, kind of translate to a one-stop shop. Does that make sense? So the more one-stop shop you are, the better you are. Okay. Let's see. Well, obviously, says in music and movie making, it's easy to separate them. They are separate classes at the Oscars, for example, but in VO. Yeah, I mean, I think when you talk about sound mixing, all right, what we're usually talking about, to me, or what that means is I'm mixing different, different either music with my sound, or I'm mixing things together, not one singular thing where I'm editing the sound. Whereas mixing, I'm taking 2 or 3 different things and mixing them together to create one. Okay, whereas editing, I'm editing out errors or problems. Okay, so that's how I look at that. Let's see. Dave G says 6-1. I mean, that's still good, right? I mean, that's good. Yeah, absolutely. When you say 6-1, I mean, it should be, for every. I look at it as percentages, right? So, if I spend $10 and I make $100, that's an incredible investment. I'd spend $10 all day long to make $100. You know what I mean? Because you spend $20, you make $200, $30, you make $300. I mean, that's a happy day. So, yeah, I mean, I would definitely, but the only thing you're going to be able to judge is whether or not you are, making a profit or not. And is that profit margin enough for you? Okay. Some people are like, look, any profit margin is good. I'm just a big person. I'm a big person, a big believer of, forging your own path when it comes to, like, for example, if I was to say to you, if you spend $10 and you make $15, is that worth it to you? You might say, well, I mean, that's actually, only making $5 more. I'm really only making $5. It's not worth it. But then I say to you, all right, well, don't spend $10 and you won't make $5. So now you make nothing. So my question to you is, again, do you want a little bit of a lot, or do you want a lot of nothing? I really kind of live by that. After a while, you got to really choose what you want. You kind of have to look past all of the stuff that everyone says and decide for yourself and your business what you will do and what you will not do. And you are the only one who can answer that. Don't let all the noise, don't let me or anyone else tell you what you are going to stand for in your business. But whatever you decide to stand for it, be proud of it. You don't have to be mean to other people if they don't agree with you, but, be confident in your decisions. That's how I look at it. All right, let's see. Let's take a couple more questions. Let's see. Lofty says, you're the best. Thank you so much. Dan says, how do you handle revisions that send you into late territory? What type of impact does this have on your gigs rankings within the algorithm? Yeah, Dan, I will admit to you, I don't like how Fiverr does that aspect because it can be very misleading, right? Like if somebody puts a revision and then it shows like you only have that much time left that you originally had, or you go into the late section. The only time you're actually being considered late is if a little icon comes up that says you're late on top of your gig. The other lates, even though it says you're late, Fiverr gives you at least 24 hours or how much time you had on that gig. At least they're supposed to. Okay, so even though it says late in big bold letters, it's really not late until that little icon pops up on your dashboard screen that says you're late. Okay, so I know I don't know why Fiverr does that. They could change it, but they haven't. So that's how I deal with it. Now, if you're worried about it, all you have to do too is just ask them to extend. Here's a little thing though. Here's a little tip. If you extend someone's stuff, like if something I learned, like let's say, for example, they come back after 2 days. So you delivered your work 2 days ago. Then they come back and they want a revision. And you're like, okay. And you're like, okay, well, let's extend it because you can extend the delivery time, right? You go to the resolution center, which is those 3 little dots in the upper right-hand corner, or on the desktop, it says resolution center. It's a green button on the top right side of your screen. And you go to, there's a place where it says add extended time. Well, here's the thing. If you already did 2 days, like you've already delivered it 2 days, for some reason in the Fiverr algorithm, it shows 2 days late. So you've got to make sure that you actually extend it 3 days in order to add 24 hours. And that's a little tip and trick I've learned. Okay. I don't know why Fiverr is just not taking care of that, but maybe it's such a massive thing that's built in that to do it would be a big disruption, I guess. But anyways, so yeah, you have to just take it in context. If that little button pops up that says, hey, you're late on your dashboard, and it's like in big red letters, then you know you're late. But if you're on your regular screen and you see that big late, the big LATE, and it's showing all this red stuff on the gig itself, like on the actual order, you have time to fix it. Lee says, hey, Anthony, thanks for answering my question. I have part 2, though, with buyer's request. Is it worth it to go for requests that already have a ton of offers? Lee, I mean, with all things being equal, if that's all you have to go for, I would rather you go for it, because you're not always going to get, like, what you don't know is what those people have sent. I mean, people send some crazy stuff that you'd be surprised at. And by the way, just because you see offers doesn't mean those people offered the right price for that person. People could be offering, be like, I'm, charging quadruple the amount, which, by the way, you can too. You don't have to send just the offer price that they say they want. They could have just put $5 down because they didn't know what else to put. And they might accept your $25 offer or your $50 offer. You know what I mean? But the point is, though, is you're doing something. So I guess in the absence of having other gigs or other offers to choose from, all right, Lee, I would just send out offer. I would just make sure I get my 10 at any cost, especially when you're starting out. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. Boy, a lot of awesome questions today. I really appreciate it. And I think, again, coming out of this, make sure that no matter what you do, you move forward. Always ask the right questions. How can I get more business? Right? What can I do to get more work? What do I need to do next? Those are the best questions you can ask. All right. And by the way, if you have a chance, if you haven't checked it out already, check out the Fiverr Elite group. I think you'd really like it. And the new added session on Wednesdays, we went over how last week we made literally a demo from scratch, or this Friday. Last week we set up a gig from the very beginning all the way to the end, just from scratch. And it's really, I've added more of a Fiverr beginner session to Fiverr Elite. And then Saturdays, we have our Fiverr Lessons Plus coaching on. We do voice acting where we break out in groups and do practice scripts and all kinds of wonderful stuff, and we use stats to help us grow our business. It's really just a great group. Check it out. I'd love for you to be a part of it. Other than that, thank you guys so much. You have a great weekend. Stay safe. I will see you soon. Peace.